Hey Penn Staters, I'm Paul Clifford, CEO of the Penn State Alumni Association, and we have a special edition of Football Letter Live for you. We have Matt Fleischacker joining us here. He's going to talk about the bowl trip from a coach's perspective. The 82nd president of the Penn State Alumni Association, Kelley Lynch, is here. We're going to bring it all to you in just a couple minutes. This is Football Letter Live. Well, we are here with Football Letter Live, excited to have Matt Fleischacker back. Matt is he's the defensive coordinator at Hobart College, and he is a return guest here on Football Letter Live. Matt, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I appreciate you guys having me back on. Excited to be down here in Tampa. It's always great to be back with Penn Staters.
Absolutely. Now you're here in town, one, because you're a big Penn State guy, right? Big Penn State fan. But also it's a family trip for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It just worked out really well. You know, my parents live about 30 minutes south of here. My whole family came in for the holidays. So, you know, what could be better than spending my holidays with my family and then getting to see my other family with Penn State here for the bowl game.
All right, so Matt, you have a lot of great experience as a college football coach. You were an undergraduate assistant at Penn State. You went away for a bit. You came back as a graduate assistant. If I'm doing the math right, you probably have 6 or 7 bowl games under your belt, right?
Well, I think actually it's only 5 right now. But yeah, so I was able to have 4 bowl game experiences here at Penn State, 2 as a student, 2 as a graduate assistant. I got to be at the Pinstripe Bowl. I got to be at the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Then back as a graduate assistant, the Fiesta Bowl, and then the Citrus Bowl over in Orlando, while also being at the Camellia Bowl down in Montgomery, Alabama with Appalachian State.
I remember watching that Camellia Bowl champions. Congratulations on that while you were a graduate assistant at Appalachian State. Take us through what a bowl trip looks like, right? I would imagine the Outback Bowl is probably very similar to a trip to the Citrus Bowl. So what does the week leading up to a bowl game like this look like for the team?
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is a lot of the hard work is done before they even leave for the game. So we can try to enjoy the bowl trip as much as possible while also keeping it as routine and your schedule the same when you do get to the bowl destination. I think Coach Franklin does a great job of that. They always try to get there and be there for an entire week to keep their process the same as much as they can. But as soon as they get there, you know, they're going to keep their Sunday practice the same. Usually Monday will be off. And then they're going to have a Tuesday, Wednesday practice followed by their Thursday and a little bit later on Friday. But, you know, you're going to get your work done usually early in the mornings. There's going to be some other obligations throughout the day, from bowl activities, community service events, which are all really, really great opportunities for these guys. But at the end of the day, for coaches in particular, you're still trying to find a ballroom to throw some film up and game plan and make sure you're putting the best possible product you can for that game that's coming up later on in the week.
Now, if I'm doing my math correctly, you have a 3-2 record in bowl games, right? We won the Pinstripe Bowl, came up short in the Gator Bowl, won the Fiesta, won the Camilla Bowl at Appalachian State, and then came up short at the Citrus Bowl. If you could think back to those experiences, what's the difference between a bowl trip that ends with a successful win and one that comes up short? Because I know you're trying to balance having fun but also treating it like a business trip and trying to, you know, put a good product out on the field and win the game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, I would honestly say that our process for all of them was very, very similar. Sometimes, you know, whether in today's day of opt-outs and stuff, that might have an effect, but I really don't think it has too much of an effect, or at least in my experience, it hasn't. You know, for the Citrus Bowl in particular, we played a really good Kentucky squad that I remember we had a couple of guys get ejected for targeting and, you know, little things. It's just like anything during the season. You know, you never know what's going to happen, how the ball's going to bounce. But as long as your process stays the same throughout the week, as long as you're putting in a good week of preparation and practice and doing a lot of the work on the front end before you make the bowl trip actually and get there, as long as you're doing all those things, I think every single game you go into it thinking you're going to have a chance to win, and that was our mentality every game we went into. We firmly believed that we had a good chance to win all those games, and sometimes you don't end up getting the T-shirt and the hat at the end of the game, but obviously the ones that come out on top, you remember them a little bit more fondly, and those bowl rings, they look a little bit nicer in the trophy case back at home.
You mentioned the opt-outs, which has been something that I don't recall it happening at Penn State very often, if it's ever happened. I think we have 6 opt-outs of this game. Take us into the locker room with your teammates, right? How do the guys who are going to, go through the weeks of practice, go out and compete on the field, how are they looking at the opt-outs and kind of what is the treatment of their kind of fellow teammates who decide to sit out this game?
Yeah, I can't really speak for a lot of those players on their decisions. Obviously, every single guy has a different opportunity, and they have to do what's best for themselves. But when you're looking at it from a team perspective, everybody kind of, the camaraderie's there throughout the year. You've gone through the winter workouts, spring workouts. You've gone through the training camp with these guys. You're already family. But honestly, I think it's a huge opportunity for the younger guys to step up. So it's guys that haven't had that, that chance to really get out there on the big stage. And when you look at all these fans that are sometimes, I'm not too happy about all these opt-outs, this is also a great opportunity for Penn State fans in particular to get excited about what's to come next year, because especially for the new defensive coordinator, Manny Diaz, these are going to be his guys. All those guys that aren't going, that aren't playing, they're all still here, but they've known about these for a long, long time, I'm sure. And all these younger guys are getting so many valuable reps, and it's all of these 15 practices that they get extra by getting this bowl experience. That's really what's making a big deal for them. But I don't see there being any issues between players being mad at one another or being upset or thinking anything odd by someone opting out. Everyone has to make whatever the best decision is for themselves. And at the end of the day, Penn State's always a strong program. You're going to have talented players, and it's time for some guys to step up. And I think this is a huge opportunity to really springboard them into what's going to be an even more successful season next year with all these young guys getting all this experience. So
last time you were on Football Letter Live, we talked about a nice little coaching career that you're carving out for yourself, right? Defensive coordinator at Hobart College, great season up there, ended with a playoff victory or postseason bowl win, which is big. Talk a little bit about the kind of this week coming up in the coaching world. It might not be something that people on the outside have any perspective on, but this next week coming up is actually a big week for coaches all around the country. Talk about what you're going to be doing over the next couple days.
Yeah, so always during the weekend of the national championship is the AFCA convention, and it rotates between some cities all every year. This year it's going to be in San Antonio. Honestly, to take a page from Coach Franklin's book, this is a huge family reunion. I'm seeing a lot of guys I have not seen for a very long time, getting to reconnect with a lot of old friends. Obviously, there's always going to be different opportunities that arise from these type of conventions and meetings. But for me, it's always a great opportunity to go see people that I haven't seen, reconnect, maybe advance, in my career, but more so advance in my knowledge of football. There's a lot of opportunities from buzz sessions to meetings to other things like that where you're going to, talk ball with other coaches, whether it's talking about scheme, talking about development, talking about practice plans, whatever the case may be. It's all talking about, figuring out how to become the best possible coach we can for our players. And it's just another opportunity to do that. And unfortunately, last year was all virtual. So we're looking forward to getting back in person this year with everybody and really kind of seeing everybody for the first time in a long time after what's been a long 2 years in this profession.
We are here in Tampa, Florida with Football Letter Live. If you're looking to follow an up-and-coming coach in the coaching ranks, follow my guy, Matt Fleischacker here. Matty Fly, thank you so much for joining us again on Football Letter Live.
Absolutely. I appreciate it. And go Penn State.
I'm Paul Clifford, CEO of the Penn State Alumni Association, and we are here with the 82nd president of the Penn State Alumni Association, Kelley Lynch. Kelley, how are you today?
Oh, I'm doing great, Paul. We're here in sunny Florida. It's warm. Hey, and I'm with a bunch of Penn Staters. What could be better?
Where else would you rather be? So, Kelley, your first bowl game as president of the Alumni Association. What are your impressions so far?
Oh, this is wonderful. I got here earlier today, walked around Tampa a bit, and I will say I saw a couple Arkansas, but boy, the blue and white definitely were all over the place. It was great seeing everyone wearing their blue and white. In fact, some of the taxi driver made a comment. He's like, "Oh, I've shoved a couple of you guys around." So I think we've shown up. There's a lot of energy. People are really excited to be here and watch our Nittany Lions end the season on a strong note.
So we're here at the welcome event. We got the parade tomorrow. There's a pep rally tomorrow. What are you looking forward to the most?
Well, I can't wait to do all of those events, watching all the Penn Staters come, show our pride, cheer on our Nittany Lions. But honestly, the event that I'm most looking forward to is something that we started a few years ago. It's our community service project. Each year, our Alumni Association meets up with our competitor Alumni Association, and we get together and we perform a local community service. This year we're going out to the beach and we're helping to do a big cleanup. We're going to have over 100 people cleaning the beach up, helping the local community, and obviously going to have a lot of fun with each other as Penn Staters, but also working with the group from Arkansas. I'm looking forward to meeting all of them.
Absolutely. Competitors on the field, but certainly partners in the community tomorrow. Speaking of the competition on the field, do you have a prediction for the game, the 2022 Outback Bowl?
Wow, you never know with bowl games, and admittedly, I don't really know much about Arkansas, but my last bowl game that I went to, it was a Cotton Bowl, and I'll tell you what, our running backs showed up. I think Parker Washington's going to be awesome as a wide receiver, the whole crew. But I think our running backs are going to show up, and they're going to pound Arkansas. I'm going to go 27-21, Nittany Lions.
All right, you heard it here from the president of the Alumni Association. A big win for the Nittany Lions in the 2022 Outback Bowl, 27-21. Kelley, thanks for joining us on Football Letter Live.
Thank you so much. We are
Penn State. Well, we want to thank you all for joining us on Football Letter Live on this special edition here from the 2022 Outback Bowl. Thank you all for tuning in and for all you do for the university, for the glory, and for the future.